Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this special coverage we have this evening. Obviously, we have Hurricane Patricia making landfall right now over parts of Mexico. Amanda, this is an absolutely catastrophic situation unfolding right now.
Yes, especially for parts of western Mexico. Hurricane Patricia has strengthened from just being a tropical storm about 24 hours to go all the way up to a Category 5 hurricane throughout the day today. Sustained winds of up to 208 miles per hour were measured earlier today.
That's right. We just saw a very rapid intensification with this storm becoming a Category 5 very quickly after having sustained winds of around only 70 miles per hour, just intensifying very quickly. And again, 200 mile per hour sustained winds. That's the strongest recorded wind observation in a hurricane since we began keeping records. So obviously, this is a very unique, devastating situation.
And not only does it have those very high winds, but it also has a relatively low central pressure. The lowest recorded pressure was at 878 millibars. A little bit of a comparison. Average sea level pressure is around 1,000 millibars, so very low pressures associated with this storm.
Yeah, and just to make a comparison with the winds, sustained winds of 200 miles per hour made landfall earlier this evening, had sustained winds of around 165 miles per hour. Hurricane Katrina, which of course we all know resulted in devastating damage to parts of New Orleans, had sustained winds of 135 miles per hour at landfall. So just to put things into perspective, this is obviously a very dangerous storm.
So with more on the storm, we're going to turn it over to our forecaster, Andy Moffett, who joins us upstairs. Andy?
Thank you, guys. And yes, here is a live satellite view at Hurricane Patricia. It's just now making landfall there in central Mexico. Here is where we have those hurricane warnings illustrated in pink and those tropical storm warnings where they're farther away from the center and the winds won't be as strong in blue right there. This is what the infrared satellite has looked like over the past 18 hours or so. The storm strengthened rapidly during the day yesterday as it worked its way towards the coast of central Mexico, and now it is beginning to fall apart that it has made landfall. It's interacting with the mountains and not getting any fuel from the sea surface temperatures and is beginning to fall apart. Those sea surface temperatures are extremely, extremely warm, and that is one of the reasons this system has gotten so strong and intensified so rapidly. Temperatures well above 90 degrees here off the coast of central Mexico. The track of this storm, it's anticipated to head towards Texas actually during the next few days. Here it will dissipate quite quickly though on Saturday, already down to about 25 miles per hour. So the winds won't be a factor as it works its way towards the United States, but it will be bringing lots of rainfall. These spaghetti models show that progression, and the general consensus is to bring it towards lower Texas here, but then it's sort of a guessing game as to where it will go. Chances are it'll just turn into a very moist system that will drop lots of rain across parts of the southeast, but other than that, it doesn't look like no winds will develop or any resurgence of the system will form. Here is a look at the an image actually from the International Space Station from one of the astronauts on there of Hurricane Patricia. It is, as you can see, a very intense looking storm, that eye right there with the eye wall around it. And here's another satellite image of that storm from higher up. Very large area here, but the wind field is quite small just around the center there. This is a video of Hurricane Patricia as it made landfall on the coast of central Mexico, and the winds were very loud in this video, and as you can see, the trees even show the just how strong the winds are there, getting ripped apart as the winds come through into the area. And that's it here in the forecast center. Now back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Andy. And again, something we kind of talked about was how small those hurricane force winds are, only extend about 50 miles outside of the eye wall. So there's another piece of fortunate information.
That's right. Now, obviously, this is a very devastating storm, and we'll be looking to continue to track this over the next couple of days. Could be impacting parts of lower Texas and could throw a wrench into some of our weather patterns as we head into the next couple of days.
Most definitely it will, Hunter, especially areas northern Texas and southern Oklahoma. Just these past few days have seen upwards of 4 to 5 inches of rain. So again, more rain is likely for those areas that have already had quite a bit of rain the last few days.
That's right. Now, we'll throw it over to Brian Mastro, who is in charge of our social media here. He'll be going over the latest with this devastating situation on social media. Brian, what are you seeing?
Well, thanks, guys. It really is a very dangerous situation currently developing down in Mexico. We're down here in our social media center, and we're going to take a look at some of the images that are coming out from Mexico. But we'll start by taking a look at this stunning image captured earlier today of the eye and eye wall of Hurricane Patricia. And it really does capture something we call the stadium effect of how the eye just kind of bowls outward from the center. And this really just is an amazing and awesome picture to look at. But sadly, it is a devastating event as well. Now here's another picture earlier today in Mexico from actually the office of the president down in Mexico for their planning meetings for what they were discussing for their game plan for the storm, for the evacuations, and planning their response efforts as well. And speaking of those evacuations, that same aide to the president also tweeted this out earlier today, and it is good to see that people are listening to those evacuation orders and getting out of harm's way, because this truly is a storm that you do not want to mess around with. This is a very dangerous situation, so always listen to what those local officials tell you, much like these people are doing as well, as they are hunkered down here within a ballroom. Most of these people are actually tourists that were unable to get out of Mexico and were just able to take shelter anywhere they could and just ride out the storm and hope for the best in the end. And then we also have some damage reports coming in from Mexico. This is from Manzanillo, one of the areas we're expecting to be the most hard hit by Patricia. And this is a tree that is quite massive in size that was just blown over by those amazingly strong winds. It really takes a lot of force to knock a tree that large down just on its side like that. And so those winds that were earlier today around 200 miles per hour thankfully dropped a little bit before landfall, but it really just does show how powerful they are, just knock down large objects like that. And again, here another downed tree, and here also we do begin to see some flooding. This is actually from that Office of Emergency Management in La Prensa, and it is good to see once again there's nobody outside, so hopefully those people did listen to their Office of Emergency Management and heeded their evacuation orders in order to get out of harm's way. And this was from earlier today, and there was already some flooding occurring. This was, as you see, it is still light out, so I'm sure there's even more flooding going on there now, so hopefully everyone was able to get out of harm's way. And then here we are again, also in Manzanillo, of just those trees that are horizontal almost from just the sheer force of the wind. And again, we do see some of those floodwaters beginning to move into the area as well. Although, once again, though, we do see that car, so hopefully people aren't trying to be driving around in this very dangerous situation. But there's not much you can do about that right now. So we'll go back up to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Brian, for all of that information. Some of the tweets coming out of the area, absolutely incredible. And of course, all of our thoughts are with those being impacted by the storm in Mexico. Obviously, it's going to be a long night in the area with this very powerful storm moving through, but all of our thoughts are with those being affected.
Make sure to check out the latest updates by following us on Twitter at PSU Weather, or check out our website at campusweatherservice.com. From all of us here at the Penn State Campus Weather Service, thanks for joining us for this special coverage, and make sure you have a safe night.